The Mystery of the Kentucky Twins, Gumbo and Darby. Deep in the backwoods of Kentucky, during the 1950s, there lived two brothers, Gumbo and Darby. They were identical twins, so similar in appearance that even their own mother, little Bartha, had trouble telling them apart. Their house sat on the edge of town, surrounded by thick forests, and was known for its eerie silence. The locals spoke about the twins in hushed tones, their stories filled with whispers of strange happenings. A town's unease. The people of the nearby town rarely saw Gumbo and Darby in the daylight. They would sometimes appear in the market, dressed identically, speaking in low voices only to each other. Though polite, they had an air of mystery around them, as if they knew something no one else did. Odd things seemed to happen whenever the twins were near. Some residents reported hearing strange sounds from their home at night, soft murmurs, footsteps, and the occasional flickering of lights. Others said that visitors who traveled up their road never stayed long, always returning with uneasy expressions. Little Bartha's sudden illness. Their mother, little Bartha, was known for her kindness. She often baked pies for the local children and offered remedies for common ailments. One day, however, she fell gravely ill. The town's doctor, Russell Sprout, was called to their home to tend to her. He arrived in the evening and spent hours inside, while the twins paced the front porch in silence. The next morning, Dr. Sprout returned to town, looking troubled. He mentioned that something about the house felt unsettling but refused to say more. Strangely, from that day forward, no one ever saw little Bartha again. A house full of secrets. After their mother's illness, the twins became even more reclusive. The home, once warm with the smell of baking bread, seemed abandoned. But the town soon noticed a peculiar pattern. People who visited the house never spoke about it afterward. Some travelers passing through Kentucky, drawn by curiosity, ventured up the long path to the house. Those who returned avoided questions, their eyes carrying a strange, distant look. One autumn evening, the local sheriff decided to check on the twins. He knocked on their door, but there was no answer. Just as he turned to leave, he thought he saw a flicker of light from the attic window. It was enough to send a chill down his spine. He never returned. The mysterious disappearance of the twins. As time went on, stories of Gumbo and Darby grew more eerie. Some believed they had uncovered a secret too great to share, while others thought their home held something beyond explanation. Then, one morning, the town awoke to a peculiar silence. The twins were gone. The house stood empty, the doors locked, the windows dusty. A few brave townsfolk ventured inside but found no trace of them. The furniture remained untouched. Their mother's old rocking chair still swayed gently as if someone had just been sitting in it. On the kitchen table sat two identical plates of food, as if they had left in the middle of a meal. Strangely, a letter was found tucked inside one of the kitchen drawers. It contained only a single sentence: "Mom is back to see you." The handwriting was unsteady, as if written in a hurry. A house frozen in time. The house remained abandoned for decades. Over time, vines crept up its walls, and the windows became clouded with dust. A few daring visitors claimed that, on certain nights, the attic light still flickered. Others swore they heard faint murmurs, as if two voices were whispering inside. Then, one stormy evening, a local historian, intrigued by the legend, decided to spend the night inside. Armed with nothing but a lantern and his notebook, he stepped into the house. As he entered the attic, he discovered an old mirror, a mirror that did not reflect his own image, but the silhouettes of two young men standing behind him. Frightened, he turned to flee, but the house seemed to shift around him. The front door, which had been unlocked, was now sealed shut. Shadows danced along the walls, whispering in familiar voices. The air grew thick, as if the house itself had come alive. The historian was found the next morning, asleep on the porch, his notebook filled with frantic scribbles. When asked about his experience, he had no memory of entering the house. But in the final pages of his notes, scrawled in trembling handwriting, were the words, "They never left." A logical explanation? Some believe that the twins had discovered something unnatural, something that bound them to the house forever. Perhaps they had been drawn into another realm, where time no longer moved. Others argue a simpler explanation, that the house was built on unstable land, filled with echoes of the past, causing hallucinations. But the biggest mystery remains. If the twins were truly gone, then why do fresh footprints still appear in the dust-covered floors?